South African essential food prices hitting households very hard. Increases in food prices have recently reached an all-time high. According to Statistics South Africa, items such as bread and cooking oil contributed greatly to the overall registered CPI of 7.8%. Let's unpack the impact of this for you now. Bring in Dr. Dick Forslund, who is a senior economist at the AIDC. Dr. Forslund, it's great to have you on the program. Thanks as always for making time to chat to us. I want to begin with making sure that
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Lovely. Context first. This is obviously taking place in amid a growing kind of sense of discomfort because of what's taking place internationally with the inflation rate there. So the question is, were you surprised by this outcome, and do you expect things to get any worse?
No, I wasn't. I wasn't surprised. I mean, you can see on the producer price index, which is driving this. I mean, the cost for basic raw material in production and machine and so on. You can see that it's even higher than the consumer price index. So the so-called PPI is now in the month before is over 16% inflation year on year. So it seems like this will continue. Even if there's predictions now that the fuel prices will be lowered a little in the next month. But I mean, the fuel prices now year on year, it has an inflation rate of over 56%, says this report. So I mean, it will not provide so much relief when it comes to this pressure.
I guess you've answered my next question in some ways, but I guess it's still worth asking it. People typically are pointing out that when fuel prices go up, the ripple effect kicks in quite quickly. In fact, we hadn't anticipated the kind of increases we've seen this year, but we're already feeling it in the CPI. But when fuel prices go down, that adjustment takes a whole lot longer before it's finally felt. You can see where I'm going with this. People, I guess, would be anticipating that there'd be a drop in prices as soon as next month because of the drop in fuel prices, but that's unlikely to happen.
Yeah, I mean, this is a story going around internationally. It's no secret that oil-producing companies are making mega profits in this situation. So I mean, a cap on price increases. This politically, this should be on the cards, and I think that is also when it comes to different food prices, that is also should be on the table. If you look at I mean, last time we spoke about this, we spoke about the so-called Household Affordability Index, which is produced by the Institute for Economic Justice in Pietermaritzburg, who are measuring inflation on food baskets in townships in Joburg, Cape Town, Durban, Pietermaritzburg and Springbok in the northwest. And they have on a core food basket for a low-income household, which is 17 types of the different kind of merchandise, bread, sugar, flour, meal, and so on. There the inflation rate on this basket of 17 items is 14.5%. And for the whole food basket of some over 40 food items, it's over 12%. And you can see even in the Stats SA report, which also have a kind of division from low-income households to high-income households. So the inflation for the 10% lowest income households is not 7.8%, it's 8.6%. And in this situation, the government with new regulation for the special COVID grant has kicked out almost close to 6 million people from the system. So I think that one thing that should be discussed is a price freeze for food items. It should be and if you look also at the annual reports of Pick and Pay, ShopRite and Spar, you will see that they are making profits as usual. I looked at the annual report yesterday, and a price cap on these food prices would not hurt. It would help the poor, and it would not. It would not kind of like be a catastrophe at all for the big supermarket, the big sort of retailers like these three big companies. They are also issuing dividends as usual of billions of rand this year and last year.
Fascinating that. I mean, we do know already that some food items are VAT exempt. You're saying that's not going far enough?
Yeah, no, yeah, they are VAT exempt, of course, but this is a stationary thing. That has been the case for I don't know, 15 years, 20 years, and that is good, of course. But you also have to stop the prices of these items from continue to rising, and there the government could intervene and say stop. This is enough. You can't increase. You can't kind of like distribute, or you can't transfer your costs, your increasing cost from transporting food, which is one factor behind this, over to the consumers. You have instead to reduce your profit margins. I mean, the profit margin on Spar has a profit after tax of 2.2 billion rand, distributing dividends of 1.8 billion. ShopRite, 25% increase in profits, profits of 4.9 billion, distributing dividends of 1.9 billion. Pick and Pay, 900 million distributed in dividends. Profit margin 19 or close to 20%, etc., etc. Profit before tax 1.6 billion. I mean, they could certainly afford to face a price cap. And why not take the 17 food items that is in the core, so-called core basket of the household affordability index? It's mealie meal, sugar, bread, and not least cooking oil, etc., which has been increasing tremendously under the period, during this past period, as you know.
Something tells me the capitalists in them are going to push back strongly against this, but that doesn't mean the plan itself won't work. But
no doubt, and I also think that there's no such sort of inclination in the government presently, because they are on a harsh austerity program, and we are all bracing for the midterm budget, as the unions pointed out yesterday.
Right. But, I mean, so that's just one level of intervention, right, Dr. Forslund? There's also a debate around what we can do with our monetary policy to try and alleviate the blow this has specifically on low-income households. Debates around the role of the Reserve Bank, again, coming up again, especially because there's a kind of anticipation that, again, the repo rate is going to have to go up because inflation has gone up.
Yeah, but I mean, we have been discussing this before too. So if they continue on this trajectory of increasing the repo rate, in a way, and through the back door, this can also have even an inflationary push, in that sense that firms or shops or whatever who are highly indebted, to them increase in the cost for the loans they have. Also, basically is a part of inflation. And if they want to sort of transfer these costs over to the consumers, then you will have a kind of inflationary push from that side too. But I mean, such measures as increasing the repo rate, it only have an effect of 1 or 2 years from now. And as we have discussed before also, and has been mentioned by many observers, this inflation is not driven by a consumer spree or something like that. Mm-hmm. It's driven by other factors. So I think rather what they are doing is that they are trying to defend the value of the rand, but I mean, there you have other measures. You have to discuss capital controls, for example. You have to slower the rate of which the rand is traded against the dollar, sort of cross border. But I mean, that is also a kind of radical measure that is not on the table of the government. So sure. I think that they will maybe again increase the repo rate, and And in my view, it's completely wrong measure. We just continue this recession, which has been, for the poor and the working class. We have had a recession for 1 decade now, for 5-6 years. And I think it's detriment to alleviating this crisis.
Sure.
And this crisis is almost going into a second gear now when it comes to destroying the social fabric in the country.
Yeah, you almost get a sense that, the recent data has not been taken into consideration as we intervene, given what's taking place globally. But Dr. Dick Forslund, always great getting your insights, sir. Thanks very much indeed for waking up early to speak to us this morning. Dr. Dick Forslund is a senior economist with the AIDC. Once again, appreciate your time.